Right, so let's move on to Ahava. I know that you've been following these developments in this field really closely in the context of content, but can you share your broad perspectives on generative AI,
Sure.
GPT policy, things like that?
Sure. So I think that a really good way to think about this is that we've never had such massive amounts of data before. And what these computational models really help us do is take those large amounts of data and try to find the signal in the noise. So one way to think, and then what they do is they take words, they turn them into zeros and ones, then they apply really beautiful complex math to make predictions. So a great example of this would be if somebody took all of the webinars that I've ever done and fed them into GPT or some LLM and asked it to predict how many times I would say the word in an hour-long webinar, it would be able to do that. But here's where it gets interesting. If it only took half of the webinars that I've ever done and put it in, then it would be missing a huge amount of data. And this is where this technology really reminds me of the Prometheus myth, where Prometheus stole fire from the gods and gave it to human beings, not recognizing the incredibly destructive power that fire has versus what fire can also be, which is incredibly exciting. So this technology, this generative chat, GPT, LLMs, artificial intelligence, goes by a lot of names. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck, is one of the most exciting things we've ever seen, because now we finally have an ability to feed large amounts of data into a system and get predictive analytics on it. But if we don't feed it the right data, then we don't get the right thing out. So whatever these models are trained on is what they are going to spit back. And that's what's scary about it to us in healthcare, because there's so much misinformation now. What's out there, what people are learning about, what they're going to on the internet may not actually be right. It may not be scientific. It may not be evidence-based, all the words that we use. And so it's a scary thing in any industry, quite frankly, but in healthcare especially. We talk about first do no harm, and these models have the ability to do tremendous harm when it comes to healthcare. So I think that it's exciting. I think that you could imagine that one day you could feed your genome and your sleep habits and your exercise habits, and it could spit back to you a personalized healthcare plan. It's going to help doctors move away from being data clerks and doctors into actually becoming healers and practitioners again. It has so many exciting applications. But to use it for communication, you have to remember that if it's dirty data in, you're going to get dirty content out. And that's, I think, the really important thing for all of us to be focused on as a community that really wants to do no harm right alongside the business clients that we serve as our doctors and our stakeholders, and quite frankly, the public.